I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been this successful in life?
I heard we had a Fatty's gonna fatty junior last week. Just a couple of schlubs that nobody's ever heard of. One sloppy Russian and one sloppy Brazilian, just slopping it up on the prelims of a card that I watched the final 3 fights, which is pretty damn impressive for a week that I was away at the cottage. Also, Toutmaster picks went in. I think I went like 2 for whatever on the card, so it didn't really make a difference. But I'm back. We're back. The MMA analysis. Hello, darkness, my old friend, indeed. Shaun, do we want to just like ignore it completely, or do we have anything that we need to? We've relived it enough.
I mean, it's par for the course. They give me a little hope and then rip the heart out. In hindsight, I mean, I think it's a bit amazing that it got to where it got with how bad. Other than the first pairing defenseman, the rest of them were pretty terrible. Almost the whole entire playoffs. And then Draisaitl got 0 goals in the final, and somehow we still got to 7. That just shows how good Cam is. And yeah, so
Dry apparently like broken rib and some other shit too. So
broken rib, broken finger.
That doesn't help at all.
Tell that he was fucked up.
Yep.
But like a lot of guys are at this point, it's the same story every year, and then it comes out afterwards. But I'm sure a bunch of the Panthers guys, like I'm almost positive Montour is having some sort of surgery in the off season with how he looked for a lot of that series. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, as Shaun said, it is impressive that they got it to Game 7 in the first place. Just couldn't quite get over the hump.
Cam getting a little con love, which was funny. I love the old Big Bob betters all over the Twitter sphere, and
the amazing part. Did you see the results?
He got third.
He wasn't even second.
Yep, that's wild.
Fourth.
No, he got,
fourth. Yeah, because
Forsling was third. Was he?
Third, yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite.
Which is
quite
honestly, it was deserved. Like he was dog shit for half of the playoffs, and then he was great for like 75% of 2 series, and it was exactly when the team needed him to do that, and it all worked out for them. So
I don't personally. I'm happy, Cam got that trophy. I think he was great and stuff. I don't think a losing team should have the MVP ever. Like, I don't think that should happen ever, personally. I think the winning team should get
it
the
really
MVP.
hasn't. So it's happened 5 times.
Yeah, it's barely happened.
100 and some.
Yeah.
Like, I
and
forget
Cam had like a historic like playoffs and finals and stuff, but there was periods where he wasn't good. And some of those series, like, hell, this series, he went the last 3 games without getting a point. You know what I'm saying? So the last two games without getting a single point. So he had bad spots too, but his assist and the points all through the playoffs and shit were crazy for him. Like,
it would also be a different story if somebody drastically stood out from the Panthers.
Yeah,
but they were just a very good overall team led by their captain, but he didn't. He had almost half as many points as McDavid. So yeah,
it's crazy.
It's tough.
Yeah. Well,
it's not going to happen like that, but
yeah, they have like Barkov and Tkachuk, so they have like 2 dudes that are like sharing. And when Draisaitl literally is like has nothing in the finals, and Cam is, that was awesome. Like I saw even hockey dudes and stuff like, and it's in the moment and stuff, but insane finals to go, 3 up, then 3 back, then a game 7, which was like close, and it was great.
Yeah, it was a super tight game. Like, it wasn't one of the best games ever. I think our boy Rob Pizzola said, like, this is one of the greatest hockey games I've ever seen in my life. It's like, chill.
There's just this. It was the stakes.
It's the stakes.
It's the stakes.
It's just the stakes. You take that game and you put it in, the middle of December. Everybody's like, okay, that was a mediocre game, but because of the stakes, it was a good game.
I was entertained.
Yep.
Yeah, there was also fights last week. So that was a thing that happened. As I said, the over hits. I watched 3 fights. I figured the over for this one, we probably set that at like 0.5 for last week, given the circumstances.
At the cottage.
But, yeah, exactly. We get there. Well, let's just go through the main event because there's only like, I don't know, 2 fights that we care about on here. Gift.
Oh,
Wesley, we got a gift.
Yeah. I mean, really? This dude, like they bet Rob down too, like late, which was I'm
wild.
Just adding. It just kept going, and I just kept adding, and at a certain point I was in, and man, I think we just forget about how fucking great Robert Whittaker is. Like, there's a couple dudes that he just hasn't been good against in like this level of competition. And like, I get the hype, but man, this dude hadn't even fought like a top 15 dude or something like that. And he gets thrown into a main event against
late
a
notice.
Dude that's a title challenger, like a perennial title challenger. I just don't get it. I tell you what, like,
almost gets favored by the time the fight actually goes off.
And man, like I will say, like Whittaker, like I know he's dealt with like a bunch of injuries and stuff, and he even had like coming into this, he had like a tooth abscess that he had to have emergency surgery. So it was like 3 or 4 days where he couldn't even eat right and train. This was like the week before leading up to the fight, which was crazy. But besides that, he looked like in insane shape. Like he was fucking ripped, man. I don't know.
He was ready to fight Chimaev.
Dude, Sean's exactly right. You could tell that dude was ready to fight like one of the dudes, and he looked in insane shape. And that guy still, like, he's a challenger, man. Like, I don't know what happened in the DDP fight. Like, I still don't believe that DDP is that much better than Robert Whittaker. Like, that it looked on that night, because he like blew him out of the water. I just think that they're still closer than that. Like, he was just had a bad night. DDP was on his game, but man, Whittaker looked good, man. He looked in an incredible shape, and I still think he's a threat in that division still right now. And they might have ruined the old Russian dude. They might have ruined him for a while. Like, seriously, they might have took it. How do you get back up after that for a while, going in there and getting smoked like that? And like, you had all this hype and shit. That was a bad loss. And he got like knocked the fuck out. Like, it wasn't like just some stoppage. He got fucking slicked, man. That wasn't good.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he got smoked.
Like,
he got smoked.
I don't think that he was ever like, I didn't look at that dude and be like, oh, that dude looks like a champion. Or a future champion.
Oh no, yeah.
I overreact. I think he's still going to be like a top 10 middleweight.
He could.
Yeah, he's got power.
You'll have to build him up.
A good
you had to build
finisher,
him
but
up.
Yeah, you don't go from
Warlley
Alves to Robert Whittaker. It's just that's not how you're successful.
I somehow picked Whittaker and still found a way to lose money in this fight, which is always the case in a Robert Whittaker fight. I took him in the same game parlay with over 1.5 because I didn't think he would just absolutely wreck this dude inside of a couple minutes. And that's what I get. So I continue to lose money betting on or in Robert Whittaker fights. And that's what I do best.
Yeah, I think Wes described that one pretty well. No need to go too much further into it. Robert Whittaker still
Very good.
elite. Yeah, and a contender. Co-main events and the other fight that I watched, Alexander Volkov takes a unanimous decision over Sergey Pavlovich, and Kelvin Gastelum takes a unanimous decision over Daniel Rodriguez. So the unpopular dog wins, and the popular dog, because Kelvin Gastelum is a fatty, gets not smoked, but he lost. So that was fun. Shaun?
Volkov is fucking good, man. I know he's got some losses, but since like October 2020, his losses are to Cyril Gahn and Tom Aspinall. Now, of course, this is heavyweights, so it's not like he's beating amazing people, and I think that's kind of why I thought that Pavlovich was going to dispose of him. Prove me wrong. I thought Pavlovich was the real deal. He still might be just because of his age. It's just Volkov is still pretty good. Yeah, lost a decent bet on Pavlovich. Props to Volkov. Shut me up.
Yeah, he's not bad. Knows how to use his length, at least compared to most heavyweights. And the worry with him is usually like, oh, if you get that chin, then you're gonna get him. And he just went 15 minutes with one of the three most dangerous guys in the world, and ate some shots and looked all right. So good job, Volkov. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, props to Volkov. Like, in hindsight, it ended up being like a perfect matchup for him. I don't like we never get to see like a ton of Pav in his fights, but I don't ever remember him being like a one punch type dude to where he's just trying to go in and land a bit. He's usually combos, and his combos at the end usually lands the big one and gets dudes out of there. That was I'm sure a lot of Volkov's length and stuff. And I just think that ended up being a good matchup for Volkov. Guess Pat, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Like, I don't know. We just saw Pav wreck so many guys and shit. I don't know, man. I think there's kind of a plan there for Pav now, but not everybody's Volkov. Not everybody's fucking 6'7" with that length and stuff. And like Brad mentioned, the leg kicks, man, dude's so well rounded for a dude that fucking big and shit, man. Like, I don't even, I wouldn't put him at this level, but old Simi Schilt, man, tall kickboxer that could kick your legs and use his distance great. There's been guys that can get Volkov down sometimes, and that's what he's got to worry about, wrestlers and shit. I think Aspinall is like a dude that's probably going to get inside on him and try to work him over that way. But dude's right there. It's a heavyweight division, man. You know what I'm saying? He strung some along. Shocked if Volkov gets a title shot here soon. No, I mean, he could.
Yes, sir. And then the fatty. Any thoughts or care for the fat dude, Shaun?
Not at all. I'm annoyed at him because I was planning on betting him, and then he comes in absolutely fucking fast alum to the max. And so then I didn't bet him, and then of course he wins.
What's crazy is he didn't look like really fat though. He's just this big now. Like there's no, I mean, he didn't like have a belly and shit. Like he was still looked in decent shape. I mean, he went 15 like going. Like he was fucking putting a pace on Rodriguez. Like I was surprised. Like
I mean, cardio and skills have never really been a problem for Gastelum.
No, I mean, it's like I don't think it was like an old point of where he like used to like not train and shit and be out of shape when he was like this. He looked in shape and like he proved it. He went 15 like fast-paced rounds. I mean, he's just 185 now. Like, they better never even let this guy get a contract for a 170-pound fight again. But I will say, man, you can't be like the week of or the week before on your like Instagram doing like taco eating fucking things. And then like the next week, like, I don't think I'm gonna weigh in, bro. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? And like, what's Rodriguez supposed to do? He needs that money, like he needs that fight. He can't just be like, well, I'm not gonna fight you because you're gonna be overweight again. That's fucked up. Like you can't do that type of shit. I'd been real fucking pissed. That's some fucked up shit.
I hope he just leans
Man, on
into
his
that.
man on his Instagram. Yeah, no doubt. Lean into it, bro. Do like a food review the week before the fight every time now. Like you can have churros, do this
whatever, hopefully he only gets fights outside of Vegas. So you can, I mean, even if it's in Vegas, there's enough different restaurants there that you can do a different one for every fight. Just make it a thing. Just all, doesn't that Keith Lee or whatever that dude's name is, he fought in Bellator or something, and he does social media stuff, whatever that means now.
He makes more than 99% of fighters now, and all he does is review
for doing like food reviews.
Yep.
He actually like that kid.
I mean, actually, there's your path out of fighting.
Yep.
Rest of the main card. Oh, there's only 2 more fights on the main card. The like real ugly dude finally knocked out Antonio Broccoli in round 3, and the Ooze made Johnny Walker do Johnny Walker things real early in that one. So hey, maybe they've perfected the glove recipe now. 3 knockouts on one whole card. What a crazy concept. Shaun, any thoughts on those?
We're going to get asshole Madoff at some point. He is not good. Uzdemir, I did bet. I think that was the only bet I won on Saturday. And Johnny Walker's fucking horrible. John Kavanagh has ruined that man. Because here's the thing. He just needs to fight like a moron. And yes, he's going to lose some. But then at least he has a chance to win. The way he fights now, he's going to be boring and lose way more.
Yeah. Unless he gets another one like when he fought Thiago Silva and they just like stared at each other. He needs matchups like that, or he needs to fight like old Johnny Walker.
Yep. Dudes with no knees, sign him up. Who ref the that fight, the Johnny Walker fight? Because man, they let him take one too many. Like that follow up,
brutal,
man. Like it deaded him. That was bad.
Herzog apparently.
Yeah, Herzog. Yeah, he was just, and he was standing right there, man. He did not need to take that one. And Shaun's right. We're gonna get this fucking fucked up eye bet off. Like the old Broccoli man was winning the first round. That cage grab in that fight, that's got to be a point. Like that's so bad and changes a round and maybe a fight so much. That has to be a point, man. Like, and he didn't even barely get fucking warned and shit for it, man. Like, we got to do something with that because they're getting to the point now to where they're changing outcomes of rounds and possibly fights.
Yeah, not great. And the rest of the card, Hack Paras, split decision over Jared Gordon. Felipe Lima, 3rd round sub over Mohammed, name guy, Joe Mohammed. The Fuckeridinoff, split decision over Dalby. Gafurov, split decision over unanimous decision over Kyung Ho Kang. Magomed lots of Gasov. Majority decision over Brenson Ribeiro. And Chang Ho Lee, split decision over Long Zhao. Any thoughts on any of these?
They probably got the Hack-Paras decision and the fuck right off decisions wrong. I'd bet Hack-Paras in a parlay. I think Jared Gordon won the second and third round. I bet Dalby, so I guess I'm a little biased, but I thought Dalby took the second and third. It was a close fight, and I think because what the odds were makes it probably a worse decision in my books, of course, because it would have been nice to hit that big plus money, but it was a close fight. I just gave it to Dalby for doing more damage, but that's the way she goes.
The Dalby one was way worse. Dalby like won that fight, and it was like pretty much unanimous that like there's usually always a few people that go the other way. Everybody was like kind of like that's fucked up. Like Dalby won that third round in that fight. I thought Hasparat won, but it was close enough to where I was worried. I bet Hasparat as well, but I thought that wasn't as close. I think the Dalby decision was pretty bad in my eyes. I did bet him, of course, big number, but still, like, I thought it was pretty consensus that I saw most people like that's kind of fucked up. He won that third round. Yeah, most of the others, I will say, like losing fucking No Name was pretty bad. That dude's cruising, just beating this kid up and gets choked. Some of the dumbest shit ever, but yeah. That's how MMA betting has been the past 18 months or so.
There you go. UFC 303 this week. International Fight Week. The people are jazzed. There's the slappy thing that's right before it. I think they've sold 12 tickets for that.
Wait till Paige shows up. Gonna have sellout crowds when Paige shows up.
What is she gonna rematch the other OnlyFans chick that she just lost to in boxing in the slap fight?
I'll let them slap each other.
They're gonna do that. At least make it an entertaining video, not a stupid slap fight video. Come on, what are we doing here? Anyway, lots of shenanigans with this one. Do we want to talk about the shenanigans? We want to talk about like McGregor's definitely never fighting again.
Yeah.
Me and Sean
we talked about that a bit last week. It's
I'm not sure he fights again. I'm not sure, man.
I don't think so. Brad? And neither will Chandler, because he's just
probably not. He's gonna be like we're gonna do forever. Connor was even like, "You can fight 10 times, bro. You still like." He's like, Chandler should wait around for me. He's gonna make in one fight. He can fight 10 times. It ain't gonna make like true. It's true. Chandler should not fight until Connor finally comes back.
It's so funny. Yeah. Other than that, Jamal Hill must have been hanging out with Kelvin Gastelum, ate too much, hurt his knee. He's out of like, I don't know, 3 different fights. And then his replacement, the Carlsberg, is out. And that's how we get to this Anthony Smith fight that we have now. So just not a great card. But some very, very interesting fights right at the top of it. So we'll get to those in a little while, but we're going to kick it off in the bantamweight division. Ricky Simon Pato taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Sean?
Loke Dog. I think Simon probably gets takedowns and kind of wears out Loke Dog. Oliveira's got a shit ton of finishes, so obviously Simon will have to mind his P's and Q's, but I'll take the better wrestler that's probably going to dictate where this fight goes. But it would be fun to see Loke Dog upset Ricky Simon, but the pickle obviously is Simon.
Wesley?
Yeah, I lean the same way as well. I just think I think Ricky's got just a couple more paths to win here. That wrestling's definitely better. I think his chin is good enough too to where he's got to take something to get some grappling going. He can do that. So yeah, I kind of like Ricky here. I'm not sure I like him at minus 240 or whatever he is at this point. Was thinking about maybe the over because I think if Simone does win this fight, it's probably doing some grappling and stuff and extends it a little bit. But Low Dog's so wild, man. Who knows? But maybe the over pick is Simone and just probably can't bet that minus 240 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a few fights ago for Simone. I'd probably be with you on the over, but then he started to actually finish dudes and like hurt them on the feet a little bit. I don't necessarily know that a lot of that's going to be there against the old Lope Dog, but yeah, he's definitely going to be able to get takedowns in this one and just sort of grind him out. I think this is a vintage Ricky Simon performance and takes home a decision. He does find those subs every now and then and keeps up a high pace. So hopefully Lope Dog's on the good yams and can just go with him because I think this could be a good fight in that case. Flyweight division, Rey Soruya taking on Carlos Hernandez. Shaun.
They just feed Carlos Hernandez just elite or upper level Japanese prospects. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is. It's hard to know how good Rey Soruya is at this point. He's 22 years old. I'm sure he's making big strides. I don't know how much you can take away from Road to UFC, the guys that he's fighting on there, but he probably takes down Hernandez. Hernandez has been taken down in almost every one of his UFC fights, and Soruya looks like a pretty good grappler. So I would assume that he's going to take him down and probably get a finish. I'll just sit back and enjoy, and maybe we're having a little bit of a resurgence in Japanese MMA. Not a bad thing.
That would be nice. Let's get a resurgence in Japanese MMA promotions.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tougher one.
That's fun. Wes.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way here. I don't this competition this kid's fighting. Hernandez, if anything, he's tough. Yeah, I can't talk myself into betting Hernandez here whatsoever. I tried. Like that number's just kind of a little big for me. Just not sure how good this kid is, but maybe he is the goods. Probably just a pass. I want to bet Hernandez, but I can't do it.
You're not impressed by the wins over Mark Climaxo and Jin Yushu?
Not doing it for me, but man, it's Carlos Hernandez,
I mean, I do actually recognize a couple of the names on his resume just because they're ancient Japanese dudes, but they're like ancient low weight Japanese dudes who don't tend to age all that well. So I don't think a lot of those wins mean much in 2022, 2023. So yeah, this will be, I was going to say it's going to be a learning experience for me, but if we're being honest, am I really going to be watching this particular fight? Probably not. So probably best to pick the big favorite. Actually, you know what? We'll pick Carlos Hernandez in Toutmaster because I need the points desperately, but I do not believe he is going to win. Heavyweight time. I don't know how this isn't on the pay-per-view. I mean, it's our live. It's the guy on the card who is probably getting paid the most money is not on the pay-per-view of International Fight Week. I mean, what are we doing here? The people want Arlovsky. The people need Arlovsky. I can't believe that he is still in the
45,
UFC.
bro. You know, he makes
And
like
coming off
250.
Coming off 3 losses to bums, and he's back in there one more time, and he is taking on Martin Budday. Sean?
Andrei Arlovsky, born in 1979. Racer born in 2002. Fucking wild. Yeah, like you
Arlovsky
said,
had already had his nose redirected in the UFC fight.
Yeah.
I'm
Multiple
pretty sure the
times.
Pedro Hizzo fight was like, it was in 2002 when Pedro Hizzo absolutely flattened his nose.
Yeah, Arlovsky, 3 straight losses against pretty rough competition. Budai just lost to Gaziev, who we've learned is absolutely fucking terrible as well. I'm probably gonna pick Budai, but this is gonna be a close fight. Not much is gonna happen, and it's gonna go 15 minutes. So Arlovsky's probably gonna keep it close. I just don't know. You know, we played him a bunch. We played him a bunch by decision. We played him straight when he's in these fights against shitty guys. And usually, you know, he's had that kind of third round resurgence, and I haven't really seen that lately. So I don't know if that's just kind of gone when he's 45 years old. So I don't know. I think it's Budai is probably gonna win 2 out of 3 rounds.
Yeah, the noted cardio machine that is guy.
You don't have to be a cardio machine in a Andrei Arlovsky fight. There's going to be 10 total punches thrown.
That is fair.
Yeah, Budai like has beaten like the who's who of the t-shirt in the bull division. Yeah, look, this is gonna be a close, dumb 15-minute shitty heavyweight fight, and you're getting one guy at plus 200. Like, I'm taking a little bit of Arlovsky again. I would like most shitty heavyweights in this matchup. Like, if it was Parisian or one of the other ones and he was plus 200 against Budai, I'm probably betting that side. Why wouldn't I take my boy again at plus 200? So yeah, I like that. Like the over 2.5 for a little. I think that's a good parlay piece. Like, this is going 15 minutes. I haven't looked at all the books yet. I haven't played it, but it won minus 145 for fight goes the distance. Anything around there, I think that's pretty nice. So yeah, all 3 of those. Arlovsky over, fight goes distance.
Yeah, I have to take Arlovsky here. I mean, what are we doing if we're not taking Andrei Arlovsky in this spot? Just trying to check if we've got the split props on this, because I would expect. Yeah, I would expect that they would be a good number, because the decision prop itself is only like plus 240. Doesn't look like they're out yet. But man, like, Budai gassed and then got clocked by Gaziev and then just stood there and sort of got beaten up for a while. I don't think that Arlovsky would jump on him in the same way, even if he hurt him. But that worries me about the over. It shouldn't. This fight's going to go 15 minutes. It's going to be close, like Wes said. And we're going to take a little Arlovsky one last time into the breach. And then to cool the crowd off after that banger, women's strawweight division, Michelle Watterson Gomez taking on Jillian Robertson. Love it. Sean.
Chalk this bet that I am going to place as a loss already. I am betting a Canadian woman inside the distance. We'll see if I can get a better number than what BetOnline has at plus 155, but I think Waterson is absolutely fucking washed. She's been taking absolute beatings lately. And Jillian Robinson is actually one of the few women that actually has a pretty good offensive game and can finish fights. I think she can get takedowns. She's going to be the bigger fighter. I think she's going to smash Gomez or Waterson Gomez.
More like Michelle Warshershin. Hey, Wes?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I like Robertson here too. Probably gets a finish. I'm just fine. I'm fine just trying to find something to put her with. I don't know what yet, but I agree with Shaun. I think Waterson's done. I don't know why she's still fighting at 38 years old, still trying to do this shit. Especially the beating she's taken lately. It hasn't been pretty. So yeah, Robertson's a dog, man. Like she's a chick fighter that like tries to beat people up. Like it's pretty good. I think she gets it done here.
What are the TKO might be a decent look in this one for Robertson. It's plus 800.
Yeah, because she
as we saw in her last fight or 2 fights ago, maybe she will actually just unload if she can't find the submission or if she's facing somebody that kind of knows what they're doing. As far as your Robertson inside the distance, I mean, you could just take the under. It's plus 156 at Penny. So
I love it. There we go. I love when that happens.
Yeah, so that could work. And then watch she gets a finish in the last 2 minutes of the fight.
Very late,
a Whittaker all over again, but like reverse. Next up, the one that everybody's clamoring to see. Tight fight here. Bantamweight division. Got Yanni Gamuri dropping down from featherweight. He's going to have the size advantage. Will that be able to overcome the minus 1,800 Peyton Talbot? You know, what I heard about Talbot, the only thing that this kid has ever finished was a joint. Which, like, that's all right in my books. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So you do you, but you're supposed to be a fighter. And you're kind of a lover. I know it was nice in the last one, but he takes his time getting there. We'll see. Shaun.
Yeah, it's a wild line. Like he's probably good. He is only 25 years old. And Gamori seems to be pretty mediocre at best. Just wild to see a number like this for a guy that's like there's some hyped prospects in MMA. I know he has some hype behind him, but I don't know, in the fights that I've seen, he's good. He's doing well, but it's nothing like super amazing to me. But I've got a bunch of these prospects wrong, so maybe he comes out and just smokes this dude. It's interesting that he's a absolute massive minus 1,800 favorite, yet the total in his fight is like minus 200 over 1.5. And I mean, that kind of goes with how he's done in the UFC. Couldn't finish guy in Contender Series, a minute into the third, and 21 seconds into the second. So I guess that one would have cashed his last one out, but I'd probably look at maybe do like a same game parlay to see if you get some boosts or some shit like that with Talbot in the over or something like that. Maybe get some extra money from one of these books if they give you a boost, but the pick's going to be Talbot. Maybe he surprises us all.
Wesley.
Yeah, it's crazy that this dude is approaching one of the biggest favorites in
Ever.
UFC. in UFC history. Like that's wild to me. Like I think he's better than this guy, yeah, but like Shaun said it all. Like we've watched him. Like he seems okay. He's not like I don't even know where they weren't even putting like Bo Nickel at these prices against some of these dudes. Like a 185 guy that can like smash guys and shit. Like I don't know. Like he should win this fight. Yeah, like Shaun touched on it. I like the over 1.5 here. It was -160 pretty much all week up until earlier, and I got the -160. Um, I think it's a decent parlay piece. I don't really like parlaying a lot of totals in that kind of juice, but man, I don't know if he gets this guy out of here that quick. He did like the Saman win would have cashed, but like Saman is stupid. That dude was in there just throwing fucking bombs, trying to get knocked out, and Talbot finally fucking got him out of there. So, yeah, I mean he's gonna probably finish this guy. I don't think it's gonna be that quick. I don't think he's that great yet. We'll see. Maybe he proves me wrong and smokes this guy in the first round.
Yeah, I think I just like want to be a contrarian with this dude. Maybe it's because I've seen people freaking out about him on Twitter and stuff this week, being like, "Oh, what greatest prospect I've ever seen in my life." Sure, yeah. If you started watching MMA last week, I guess, but I don't know. Doesn't do it for me yet. Maybe he will. I think that it's a lot about the fact that he hit a really nice flying knee in his last fight right now, and not really the overall substance. And I don't know that this is the guy to test that. So I think I'm kind of just staying away from this one entirely. But hey, I just love we've got the seed in the dirt. It's pretty new, but considering some of these prices, that baby might start growing like a weed, and we might be looking to pluck her out of the ground before we know it. Because if you're minus 1,800 here and you do something impressive, which I hope he does, what are you going to be next time, and what are you going to be the time when you actually face somebody that's decent? So Talbot will be the pick, obviously, but nothing tickling my fancy there. Featherweight division, Charles Jourdain taking on Jean Silva. Should be French, but he's Brazilian. Shaun.
I don't see Charles Jourdain fights very well. I think I've bet against him all three of his last 3 fights. Lost 2 of those. Kron Gracie, hilarious that I bet him. And I probably could have lost the Woodson fight as well. So I definitely seem like I'm low on Jourdain. Usually Jourdain, if he's losing, it's because he's getting out grappled. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about that. Gene Silva is gonna brawl it out with him. Seems like a close fight. I'll pick Jourdain to win. I don't think I want any part of betting this. It seems like a close fight.
Wesley.
Yeah, I've lost a bunch of money trying to bet against Jourdain. Like I can't get it right. Like I lean him here. I don't want to jump over to that side though, because I know what's going to happen if I do that. But Shaun kind of hit on it. Like Jourdain struggles against guys that can grapple him, that can, like, he likes to back up towards the cage a lot, and guys get a hold of him and hold him there and shit. Silva's just going to throw down. Like it's going to be a kickboxing match, and Jourdain's good at that, man. He's gotten way better at that lately. So I think he's got a good shot in this fight, but man, I can never get his fights right. So going to be the pick. Maybe by Saturday, I talk myself into putting a little something on him, but it would be very small because I am horrible at picking Jourdain fights.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the shot on Jourdain in this one. Could even see this getting to a point where it's that Jourdain sort of late submission because he just starts to pile it on, and Silva, who doesn't normally like to shoot, takes a desperation shot, gets locked up in some sort of front choke. But I just think this is the type of fight that kind of suits Jourdain. It's a guy who throws big, wild stuff that he's going to be able to see coming. Usually when the dude isn't that much quicker than him, Jourdain's defense actually isn't horrible. When he can see things coming, when he can react to them. I think that's going to be the case here, not necessarily because Silva isn't fast, but because of how he throws. And then Jourdain's good in the pocket. I think once he gets in there, he's going to be able to get his rhythm going, start landing combinations, and just kind of, as I said, pile it up and maybe force some even wilder shit than normal out of Silva. So, like Jourdain, might look at some props, but probably just going to take a little money line. -115, -1. I think there was that's not a real book, but -115. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Sticking in the featherweight division, Cub Swanson. I thought this dude retired like a couple times. Taking on Andre Fili. Sean, did he retire?
Think so, but then they also just gifted him a decision against Dawadu, and then he's like,
Man.
well, maybe I can fucking stick around.
Great title run.
They pumped him up because he was all fucked up after it, but then like later on he did interviews and his team around him was like, nah, bro, you won that fight. That was the right decision. And like, guess what, bro? It was not the right decision.
That was a bad one. Cub Swanson is now 40 years old.
Is that good when you're 145 pounds?
It's not great.
Not
It's
for
not
fighting.
it's not like Fili is super young. He's like 34 now. Coming off getting absolutely knocked the fuck out by Dan Ige. If I'm searching and trying to find a bet on this, I might take like Cub round 1 TKO at a stupid, +1000 number or some shit like that. We'll see what 365 offers. I think Cub's got to hit him early and get him out of there, because after that, I think Fili kind of gets into a rhythm and kind of just picks away at Swanson and probably wins a decision. But that chin of Fili's is pretty sketchy, and Cub still has some power.
For a lighter guy, Fili is pound for pound one of the greatest get knocked out artists of all time. He's put in some incredible performances over the years. Wesley, thoughts?
Yeah, he's taken some of those, what the fuck just happened KOs over his career. Like you never see it coming, and then it just fucking happens. I'm not sure Cub has power like that at this point and shit. Like, of course, if he gets in clean, it's Fili, but I mean, I lean Fili in this fight. Cub's 40. I thought he got fucked up against Dawadu. I just, man, you can't. I'm not sure you can lay -200 on Fili against most guys, even 40-year-old Cub Swanson's. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of thinking under. I know Sean mentioned the over. I do think that's Cub's best chances to catch Fili on that chin. I think if it's a kind of going Fili's way, he's going to pour it on Cub in the second and third round. But I don't know, man. I can't get a good read on this fight. It's just an old dude against a chinny guy who's not really young anymore, like Sean said as well. 34 years old, which seems kind of wild. That I know in fight years it's definitely not that close, because Cubs fought for forever, a bunch of fights. But yeah, I can't get a really good read on this one. Fili's going to be the pick, but this just seems like one I'll totally pass on.
Does Fili throw kicks at all?
Yep, a little bit.
A little bit. Not a ton or anything.
He's going to win then, because Cub can't deal with anybody kicking him anymore. It doesn't even have to be like a good kicker. Just if you throw kicks at him, he's like, I'm old and I can't move out of the way. And my bones and joints are really brittle. So when I can't move out of the way and then you land kicks, my body falls apart. So if Feely throws a couple kicks, he's going to be good here. As Shaun said, the thing you got to watch out for with him is he might get knocked out spectacularly in any fight that he's in. So what was that? That Cub round one?
Like 1,000?
Round one
900?
TKO was, yeah. And then if you do it as the TKO only takes up to 1,000. So,
but that's at Bet Online. I'm sure 365 will have a couple extra 100 on that.
Oh yeah, it'll be better throughout the week, as we know. Yeah. What's the under on here? I kind of agree with our boy LR in this one. Somebody's gonna fall apart in one way or another in this fight.
2.5, you can get it like minus 120.
I'll lean that way.
Pick them.
That. Yeah. Might take a little peek at that, because I don't know that I definitely am not betting Andre Feely north of minus 250 ever in my life. If I do that, please, like, send help. But I don't know that I want to bet Cub Swanson at all ever again. So, yeah, betting against them both in terms of physically falling apart at the under seems like a good way to go. The prelim headliner, former main eventer Joe Bodybags Pyfer, taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Shaun?
This will be interesting to see how Piper looks after kind of getting a little bit exposed last time out. Hermanson obviously was able to weather the storm early on and just kind of took over down the stretch. Of course, that was a 5-round fight, and this is only 3. So is Piper just going to be like, yep, I won the first 2 rounds against Hermanson. That'd be enough in this fight, so I'm just going to do exactly what I did last time? Or is he going to kind of ease back to try to kind of conserve some energy so he doesn't get exposed in the 3rd round here? I'll be curious, because, Barriault, he has been disposed of quick, only really once. But Piper does have good offense, and I guess he does have a chance at doing that. But if he doesn't, Barriault throws an absolute shit ton of volume. He will grind on you and tire you out. So I think this is one of those Piper early, and if it's not Piper early, then it's gonna be close, and hopefully Barriault can snatch that 2nd round and take over in the 3rd. Barriault by decision is like plus 600 at Bet Online. I think that might be worth a shot. Piper seems to be pretty durable. He was taking some pretty decent damage late in that fight against Hermanson, still there. So I'm not sure Barriault is going to get him out of there, but I think Barriault's got a decent shot at if he survives to take a decision here. So I'll be playing that plus 600 or better if it's at 365.
Wesley?
Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath, because me and Shaun are agreeing way too much. Because I think he's exactly right on this one. Like, Piper should get Barriault out of there early. He should. But man, like, Barriault has shown. Well, we've seen it happen once, but Barriault's also shown that if he doesn't get cracked with something stupid and knocked out, he's tough, man. He's durable. He's gonna throw a lot of strikes. He can cage clinch and shit too. He's really strong on the cage. So, like, I mean, at this kind of price, that decision price, like, Piper might still be really good, but I mean, we saw that a durable dude that can put out some output. We saw what happened last time. Very possible here. That's probably just too big of a price for me to pass up here. So, yeah, Piper or Barriault out there at plus 240 or so. That decision at plus 600 or better. probably gonna take a little bit of that.
Yeah, I don't love that I agree with both of you here, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that I said it on the podcast before the Hermanson fight, but that line was insane to me. So definitely, a little worried early on in that one before Hermanson really turned it up. And maybe Pfeiffer's good enough that he can do the same sort of thing to Barrio. And like, obviously, if you can win a couple of rounds against Jack Hermanson, you're capable of winning a couple of rounds against Marc-Andre Barrio. I just don't really know what this guy actually has. Like, to me, the Hermanson fight was his most impressive performance, because the other ones were just getting shitbags out of there in the first round. And with all due respect, Meerkat, we love you, but you're not the most durable fella out there. And so it doesn't count. The other dude that he fought, that's awful, that never should have been in the UFC, that he beat in the first round. And then he couldn't even get Al Hassan out. Like, he had to arm triangle him in the second, which that doesn't count. Because, like, if you go to the second round with that dude, that's like fighting a grappling dummy. So nothing doing for me there. So yeah, like I think there's a lot of question marks around this guy still, even after being in a main event and going 25 minutes. And I think Barrio's a similar, like, not as good as Hermanson, but I think he's a similarly tough matchup in terms of what he can do. He can muscle guys around in the clinch a little bit, or at least in this case, probably not get muscled around by Pfeiffer, who, the dude is fucking massive for a middleweight. I will give him that for sure. I think this is just going to get tight and sloppy. So don't hate the overs in this one. You're getting plus money on over 2.5. I think we're still feeling the residual effect of Pfeiffer getting a whole bunch of early finishes against guys who were bad or easy to finish. And Barrio doesn't have a ton of finishing power himself, and both guys seem durable. So might look at the over here just so that I'm not completely on board with you guys, and that'll save me when Joe Pfeiffer wins a decision.
Smart.
Main card time. Welterweight division. Michael Venom Page, undefeated in the UFC, taking on Ian Gary, undefeated in general. Both of these dudes are from the British Isles, I will say, because you can't call the Irish the British. They don't like that. So truly an international fight. Two very different countries here. Shaun.
I think Gary's probably easiest path to victory is to grapple in this fight. Will he have that much success grappling against Page? Probably. He'll probably have some success. When this is on the feet, I think Page is probably the better striker. He throws with a good amount of power. We have seen Gary get dropped by Song Kanon. I think Page probably throws a bit harder and a little more accurate than Song Kanon. So I'm kind of leading Michael Page. It's a little bit of dog money. They've kind of matched Page up interestingly so far in his UFC debut. They're obviously not giving him cupcakes, but they're also not throwing just absolute grapplers at him, which I think would be the downfall of him. So they're giving him a shot, and he's a good striker.
That he is. Wesley.
Yeah, let's light another one on fire. Man, I've lost a ton of money on against Gary so far. Might as well lose a little more. Dude's going to be the next Connor McGregor apparently, and I'm going to lose money like I did betting against Connor McGregor early. So, yeah, I just think I don't think Gary's going to be able to grapple here. And on the feet, like they sort of do some of the same stuff. Paige is definitely a little more flashy and shit with this, but I mean, I just think he's a little bit better on the feet than Gary is. And I mean, we've seen Paige's power in the past. Like that dude will pull off some crazy shit. Just think he hits dudes from weird angles and shit, and they don't see shit coming. And I mean, like Shaun mentioned, we've seen Gary dropped. I still go back to the old insulin kid dropping hammers on him early too. Like that stuff still just sticks in my mind. And
hey, the insulin kid got HoboCop once, so that dude's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take a little bit of the dog money on old Venom here, and hopefully somebody gets this fucker Gary here soon, because I'm already tired of this fucking dude. Like, just go home and be a cook. Like, get in the corner. That's where your girl wants you. Just get her boyfriend to cook you a meal after. Make sure you're eating healthy. Yeah, we got to get this fucking guy.
Hey, maybe Kelvin can come over and cook him a meal.
Bang his wife too.
I don't know. Like, I very much avoid the interviews and the personality of fighters these days. So I'm not as off put by Ian Gary as most people. And the performances have been getting a little better. You know, he's fighting legit dudes. He's beating them. He's having still a few too many moments where he's just kind of sitting back and not doing anything. I don't necessarily think that's going to hurt him in this fight, because Paige is just going to stand there and fucking stare at you for points of the fight too. So I hope this is entertaining and back and forth striking match. I think it could devolve into a little bit of a staring contest. What are we overs? Yeah, they're juiced all to hell because they kind of think the same thing. I do kind of lean Gary here. More ways to win. Maybe if he's not a complete bozo like Kevin Holland, he will mix in some grappling. It's not like something you can just immediately do to Paige. He's learned how to defensively grapple, but he's still a 37-year-old fighter that almost relies exclusively on athleticism, which isn't a great combination. So I'll pick Gary here. Not super confident in it, but just never been sold on Paige. And, you know, he's going to start fighting decent guys consistently for the first time in his career in his late 30s. And he's going to lose some of them. I think this could be easily one of those. Women's bantamweight division. Myra Bonesaw, MBS, taking on Missy Chasson. Shaun.
This should not be on any pay-per-view, especially International Fight Week pay-per-view. The pick is Jason.
What if it was an Invicta pay-per-view?
They're back, baby. Yeah. They're back.
If Invicta puts on if Invicta puts on a pay-per-view and nobody buys it, is it actually a pay-per-view?
I mean, Lance sat straight up out of a dead sleep when they was announcing that the next morning. Invicta back, baby.
He'll be back. We'll do an Invicta when they do their first big card. Do an Invicta podcast and get Lance back here for it. Yeah. Wes.
I lean Gumbo here, O'Shason, but yeah, man, it's tough to bet either one here. I'm probably just gonna pass.
If you ever get up kicked to the liver and die and lose a fight, No, I could never even consider betting you again. We're getting the bone saw against her at even money. I mean, she just came off fighting for a title. Before that, she choked out Holly Holm. Like,
for a
she's
title.
not terrible. And at least sometimes she's kind of fun to watch, which is more than you can say about a lot of fighters. And
Yeah.
Cheson's coming off beating Penny Kianzad. Isn't she the one that's like 42 and has never been good?
That was the second time that she finished Kianza too in the UFC.
I know. She's only 32. I feel like she's been around forever. Way too long. It's because she was back in all those banger Invicta shows in the mid-teens of the 21st century, as we like to call it. I'm going to pick MBS. Am I going to bet it?
Ooh.
Might bet it.
You got to now.
But
you have to.
yeah, we're doing it. I'm going to have to check if this minus 100. It's not a real thing, by the way. At Betway is actually real. Sometimes they're slow to update on sites, but they're still like minus 110s and stuff out there. So yeah, we'll be taking some bone saw in this one. The light heavyweight division. This is the fight that it was supposed to be very, very different. It was originally supposed to be Roundtree and Jamal.
Jamal.
And now Jamal. I can't do a Forrester like our boy Dan Tom.
No.
He's got that Connery accent down pat. And now we've got Anthony Smith and Roman Dolidze. And the Georgian soccer team, football, for those of you who accurately describe sports where guys use their feet to kick a ball. Good for you, by the way. Is he going to be spurred on to victory by the stunning success of the Georgian national football team, Shaun?
I hope so. These two gentlemen are both 35 years old.
Wow.
Smith is
not their brain.
Smith has fought 57 times.
It's a lot of times to fight.
Dolidze has fought 15. I don't know. I don't think Anthony Smith is good. Petrino just absolutely served that one up last time. He's an absolute moron for doing that. I've bet against Dolidze a bunch. This is more of a fade on Smith. This is short notice. At least they're doing it at 205 instead of having Dolidze cut to 185 because he is a pretty big dude. I think he's going to be more physical. I think he is going to have more power, and I think he is going to get Anthony Smith out of there. So I will be betting him.
Yes.
Yeah, this at 205, what's going to spurn old Dolidze on is those fucking Georgian fucking mountain yams is what's going to spurn him on. He's going to be jacked for this fight. Yeah, look, that Petrino fight, that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen all my years watching this dumb shit. But look, Anthony Smith is just taking beating after beating, man. 50-something fights. Like, I think Dolidze he's going to be the bigger, stronger guy. I do worry a little that Anthony Smith falls into a takedown and fucking Dolidze can lay on his back a little bit in times. But, yeah, I mean, he's just going to be – I don't know, man. It's to Anthony Smith's gotten me. That last one's just like nightmare fuel. I was big on Petrino in that fight. The guy just finds a way sometimes, but I think Dolidze is going to knock him out. I like Dolidze here. I'm not sure what KO is or inside the distance, but going Going to take Delize, and Anthony Smith is probably going to get a takedown in the second round after getting the shit beat out of him and pull off a sub.
Delize inside plus 170. Delize TKO plus 275.
Yeah, TKO's not bad.
Thing about Delize is that he sucks, though.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with everything you're saying.
He's not great.
Anthony Smith is shot to bits. Delize is like very strong, has power. If he connects, it could be over for Smith. But I mean, if he connects, it might be by accident. I don't necessarily trust that he intended to do whatever landed on Anthony Smith. And if Smith gets a takedown, like Wes said, you could be looking at some rounds that are just over because Delize is going to sit on bottom and look for leg locks and like try and do some stupid shit from his guard instead of getting back to his feet and just absolutely piss this fight away. So yeah, this one has my brain all in a pretzel. Don't even know about totals because if Smith wins, probably going late. If Delize wins, very likely happening early. Maybe some Delize round one. There's 500 out there already. I'm sure there'll be even bigger than that. But then you just, if he gets it done early, great. You want to bet. If he doesn't, you don't have to sweat through the rest of the fight and worrying about Anthony Smith somehow pulling off a win on this dude. So maybe I'll look at that. But that's a weird one to me. And, as it should be given the circumstances. Co-main event, featherweight division, Brian Ortega, Diego Lopez. Shaun.
Should be fucking fun. I don't really know who's going to win this fight. For Lopez, this is a pretty solid step up. Now, obviously, he had his debut against Evloev, but, after that, he kind of fought, okay, but not amazing fighters, and he dispatched them. He's hasn't won a decision in his, he's won 7 straight fights he's finished that he's won. This is obviously only a 3-round fight, so I think that's going to be tough to finish Brian Ortega, who is notably insanely durable. T-City, he didn't look great in the first round, but I think that was just how good of offensive fighter that Yair Rodriguez is. And after that, he took over. I really seeing Ortega as a plus money dog is surprising, but I know that there is hype on Lopez. He looks good. He's looked really good in his UFC career, even in that loss against Evloev. This could have
haircut.
The haircut is pretty elite. But yeah, I don't know how much grappling is going to happen in this fight. This might be a kickboxing fight, and then I guess you give the edge to Lopez. I don't know. I think I'm just going to try to enjoy this fight, not have any money on it, and just watch violence.
I think you might get it. Wes?
Yeah, I think Lopez might be the dude. I mean, that fight, that win last time out kind of started changing my mind a little bit. That was a
to do what he did against a pretty durable guy.
Yep. Yeah. That's when I started, because I wasn't really big on him before that. He had a ton of hype immediately. That changed my mind a little bit. I think this is probably going to be on the feet most of the fight. I lean Lopez there, man. Shaun's right with all the fights experience that Ortega has, the durability. For him to be a dog here is it's kind of wild to me. I feel like the line's flipped. I feel like Ortega should be minus 140 here and Lopez the slight underdog, just by it's Brian Ortega, man. That dude's been in there with some of the best. Man, the older guy, like, how often do we see it now? The younger up and coming dudes are starting to win these fights. I've been getting caught a lot betting these older bets here the past couple of years, and it's not paying off like it used to. These younger dudes are way more. They just got more skills, man. They're further along earlier now. It's a close one, man. I'm gonna pick Lopez. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it. It's tough. I'm gonna watch the line. If it gets close, hopefully some Ortega money comes in. I kind of think that's what's gonna happen. And if this line gets a little closer, Lopez will be a bet for me.
Yeah, this is probably the toughest one on the card for me, just because I can see Lopez coming out hot, and Ortega has been known to wear some shots early in fights. So don't love that angle from the Ortega perspective. But honestly, I'm trying to decide if his performance last time was more just that Yair Rodriguez sucks at grappling and will always suck at grappling, or if Ortega's actually like a dedicated offensive wrestler a little bit now. Because if he comes out and he wrestles Lopez, I think he can win this fight. We saw it with Evloev, who granted is probably a much better wrestler than Ortega. We also saw it with Brito on the Contender Series back when Lopez didn't get into the UFC the first time around. So, like, if Ortega gets on top, I think he can definitely control some of this fight. I don't think he's getting subbed from top position. I think it's going to go deep for that reason, and then obviously because Ortega is durable on the feet as well. So I don't know how this one's going to go. I think Ortega goes into grappling mode, then he wins it. If he doesn't and it stays on the feet, he's probably going to look like a fucking mess by the end of the 15 minutes. And it'll still be competitive. He'll get his licks in, but some of these dudes just wear it so bad that it doesn't matter how close the fight is. It looks way more lopsided than it actually is. So, yeah, I'm kind of hoping the opposite of Wes. I'm hoping that this Lopez hype continues and there's more money that comes in on him. And if it gets high enough, if I get plus, what number do I need? 150? I'll take a shot on Ortega for sure.
Fair.
Main event time. Light heavyweight division. Feels like this dude just fought because he did kind of 2 months, I guess, not 2.5 months, not crazy, but love the schedule that Alex Pereira is keeping. And we get a rematch of the controversial first fight between him and Jiří Prochazka. We got shamans and samurais and all sorts of shit going on in this one. Sean, what do you got?
Fucking guys out there.
He is out there.
Which one?
It's nice and it's nice when there is like just a weird guy. Like, we don't know about his political opinions. I mean, I haven't dove into those, but like, just being a weird fucking MMA dude. Like, we need some of those guys.
Weird, harmless MMA dude.
Yeah.
Until you actually get like inside the octagon.
Of course. Yes, of course. So he's a gem. I don't know. There's kind of talks of like, Jiří got a takedown last time. Is that going to be more of a plan this time? I don't know how much Jiří plans on what he does in the octagon ever. If he does a bunch of grappling, maybe that's probably his best path to victory. Because when this is on his feet, I think his leg is getting chewed up, just like it was against Rakic. And then Pereira is gonna fucking hit him, and he is gonna hit him much, much harder than Rakic. If Rakic did not have pillow fists, this fight would not be happening because he fucking hit Yuri so
Bombs.
clean so many times, and he was not able to put him out of there. Like, I know Yuri has a pretty good chin. It will not stand up. If Pereira is able to hit him like that, he is going to be done. So, I mean, Pereira's got the win against him. You know, some people say it's controversial. Yuri came out and said he was out. He woke up when he hit the fucking ground. So, I don't know if people are bitching about that when the man himself says he was out. I don't know if you can really back that very much, but I'm going to take Pereira. It got down to like minus 123 at Cool Bet. I took a couple of units on that. He's got the win already. He is going to be able to chew up those legs. I think he's going to continually to get better with defensive grappling. And when this is on its feet, it's going to be rough for Yuri, both his legs and his chin. So I expect Pereira to win. I expect him to get a knockout. And yeah, awesome fight.
The most shocking thing about that breakdown is that you're still able to get a couple units down at Coolbet.
Yeah,
good for you.
Only on like certain things. If I'm doing like money line, anything else, I can't get like fucking anything. I can get like $60 down, but money line, I'm doing okay still.
One last time this evening, Wesley, what you got?
Yeah, great fight. Way better than the main event that was scheduled, in my opinion. I don't really give two fucks about coked up, broken down Connor fighting anymore like some people do. Yeah, look, Pereira's insane. Like this dude is he's insane, man. Like moving up the ranks of just all time fucking badass motherfucker, you know, the wallet, it says it on there, but like yeah, look, man, we saw the Rakic fight. Yuri's gonna get hit. That's just what happens, man. That's just his style. This is just the wrong dude. Like, this is out of all these guys, this is the wrong guy for that style. Can he consistently grapple and get takedowns? Like, I mean, Pereira's takedown defense and just defensive being able to like not get hurt or subbed if he gets taken down, like it's just improved tremendously over his couple years now. And like Shaun said, like, I'm not even sure Yuri is thinking takedown. Like, that dude gets in there and starts throwing down, and it's usually he just starts throwing down. I think he's going to get clipped. I think it's eventually going to happen. The striking defense is not good. It's fun and shit as Yuri is. That's what makes him fun. He'll fucking throw him. He'll take them. This is just the wrong guy. We saw it last time. Like, we saw the same shit last time. He got in a firefight with this dude, and it's the wrong fucking guy to get into a firefight with. And I just think we see a repeat of that. Could Yuri clip Pereira? I mean, I guess we saw Izzy do it. I mean, it's possible. I don't think Yuri's like that technical of a striker and shit to where it's gonna catch up to Pereira. So yeah, I like him here. I got minus 130, and I think Pereira gets another defense. And man, like, at some point we got to start like ranking this guy, like we have to at this point. But he gets another title defense on short notice. We know he's got 2 broken toes coming in this fight. Connor ain't showing up with a broken pinky toe. This man's got 2 known broken toes showing up on short notice for another title defense. We got to start talking about this guy in some all-time rankings at some point, especially if he gets another finish Saturday night.
You think Yuri's going to come out with the foot stomps? Get him up against the cage? Just go to town on those toes?
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this fight once already. I don't know how similar it's going to be because Pereira is still at this point where all of his other skills in MMA are progressing rapidly because he's got so much to learn about wrestling, about grappling. I mean, in the last fight, didn't he throw up like an armbar or triangle or something when he was on his back and like actually have something pretty close? It might not have been one of those, but I remember he had something in that fight. And then Yuri tried to take him down in the second round as well and couldn't get him, and then tried to take him down again, and when he was half dead, and that didn't work out so well. Still, the number of people who number of people that were just like, early stoppage because he meant to get smoked and fall back into mount against a guy who was already smashing him with elbows. That's
internet in a nutshell. The man himself can say, dude, I was knocked out. And the idiots are still like, nah, dog, early stoppage, bro. Like, fucking internet, man.
As long as Pereira isn't too compromised by the injury, which I assume he's not, or he wouldn't be taking the fight, because like the man, he's a wild man, but he's not stupid. And the people around him aren't stupid. So I'm sticking with the garage, going with Bahia. I think it's going to be relatively early again, maybe not first round, maybe second round again, like last time. But Yuri just walks on to so many shots that at some point Bahira's going to get an angle for that left hook, or he's just going to send something straight down the pipe that Yuri's going to eat. And dude's got a chin on him, but it doesn't really matter when you're fighting Bahia. Not a lot of dudes on this planet hit harder than him. So Alex Bahia to retain, and that will be our consensus bet of the week. Shaun, what are we going with? Minus 135 is most widely.
Yep.
There we go. Minus 135. LR, we're going against your boy, Yuri. Sorry,
Yuri.
but it is written on the wall in the garage. Throw another tick mark up there, because is bringing home another body.
Yuri's our boy.
Glover's going to go drown him in the river afterwards.
Yeah, Yuri's our boy. It's just Pereira's over in the garage with the legend,
Yep.
Doing the damn thing. Anything else we need to hit before we get out of here tonight, gentlemen?
Week off, and then we have back-to-back Apex cards the Denver card, and then an Apex card with women's main event.
Dude, that Denver,
an Apex card and a traveling Apex card.
That Denver card is like, holy shit, bro. Rose fucking Tracy Cortez, Maine. Like the co right now is Bomb Fiend against Ange fucking. Like, what are we doing, bro? Holy fuck.
So enjoy your week off, because you'll have to pay the piper in the following 2 weeks.
I am gone for the next 3 weeks. We're taking the RV out east, so I don't think those particular cards are going to be the ones that get me to record while I'm out on the road. But
enjoy.
Who knows?
Bradley.
We will see. But I will be back in about a month. Good luck to everyone. Picks and bets and your tout mastering. We need to do a tout master up here at this point. This probably would have been a good one, being halfway through the year and all. But we'll do that when I get back. Or you guys can do it next week. But I hear the music. Let's get on.